are across the street from the Holiday Inn where GoNH is having a meeting where Scott Brown is going to be making his case to become the next U.S. Senator from New Hampshire. And Dave Testerman, I want to say thank you for taking a few minutes with Granite Croc.
And as he said, my last name is the same as my wife's, who's running for Senate against this gun grabber. She clearly, as most of you know, is very pro-Second Amendment. Our biggest problem is not driving into Massachusetts when we're carrying, which is most of the time. And she also isn't a politician, and not having been elected before, and she's not a lawyer, which is another advantage here. I do think it's somewhat duplicitous of Brown to come to this state and believe that he can basically BS his way in, with the support of some of the, let's say, the senior rhinos in this state. And I think it's time for us as New Hampshire people to say no. And as my sticker says, if it's Brown, flush it.
Yes, let's take a quick look at that. Now I have another question for you that I probably can't ask of most people here. Certainly Scott Brown has done his military service. He just retired this week or last week from being a 32-year or 35-year member of the U.S. Marine Corps, retiring as a full colonel.
Right.
And he has made much of that in his defense of his own defense of his stances on the Second Amendment. But you too have a little bit of history in that same vein, don't you?
Yeah, I'm a retired Lieutenant Colonel, Air Force, with 20 plus years and active duty. I've flown 300 combat missions in Southeast Asia. I'm clearly, have a wartime background. I can't imagine being in the military and not supporting the Second Amendment. You look at what happened at Fort Hood, basically workplace violence, with a terrorist with a gun in his hand. I think that's wrong. I don't know where he comes from, but frankly, I have other friends in the military who have had similar views, but luckily they're a minority.
Well, if he were to come over here after his meeting, what would be the most important thing you would tell him?
Well, I tell him that the Second Amendment is very, very strong. Thou shalt not infringe on my rights to keep and bear arms. And clearly, with his position to ban assault weapons, that's not true. And I don't want a SWAT team coming through my front door trying to grab mine. It's liable to get awfully noisy.
Well, very good. And as we always say, thank you for taking a few minutes with Granite Croc.
Thank you.
Croc TV.